Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to another installment of Scout Selections here for Saturday, December 21st. Before we get into today's play of the day, quick recap of what happened yesterday. We ended up picking up another play of the day winner as we ended up taking the Magic and the Trailblazers over 216.5, and that game ended up landing on about 221. So we picked up a winner there. We also gave out Buffalo earlier in the week minus 6.5 in the Bahamas Bowl, and they also won easily. So we ended up sweeping the board in our two plays. We have a couple of games that we've already talked about. I know that we already have a play on the Liberty and Georgia Southern game, so if you want to check that out, you can, as I made that video a couple of days ago. But there's a lot on today's card, and we'll actually be talking about the card right now. And the play that we're actually going to be going with is on an NBA matchup between the Milwaukee Bucks and the New York Knicks. And we like the Milwaukee Bucks minus 13, which is available on DraftKings at minus 112. Now, at first glance, obviously the Bucks are a much better team than the Knicks, as the Bucks are 25-4 and the Knicks are 7-22. However, this spot is also really bad for the Knicks because they had to play yesterday. So the Knicks had to play on the road against Miami yesterday, where they lost by 15. They were down 20 the entire game, ended up outscoring the Heat by 9 in the fourth in garbage time, scored 40 points. But most of that just based on the fact that the Heat took their foot off the gas. Meanwhile, the Bucks didn't play yesterday. They were coming off a home win against the Lakers, in which Giannis was fantastic once again, and the Bucks have proven that they're either the best or a top two team in all of the NBA. But now they get to go on the road to play against a Knicks team that they've already beaten by 42 points so far this season. Now, I know a lot has changed since then. Most of the fact that the Knicks have changed coaches. They have, after firing Fizdale and hiring Mike Miller as their head coach. However, just the spot itself, I just think is really bad for the Knicks. They're coming into this game with a 7-22 record, so they're not great as it is. And on top of that, they also just played on the road yesterday while Milwaukee had a day off. So I just think New York has some issues with regard to potentially running out of gas in the second half because of the fact that they might be tired from playing on the back-to-back and because of the fact that Milwaukee's already beaten them by 42 and Giannis is just such a matchup nightmare that I don't think the Knicks can guard him. So Giannis is probable to play. He's dealing with some back soreness, but he's probable. Wesley Matthews probably will not play in this game, which is worth mentioning, but that just means that you should see more reps for Brown and for Korver. And I just simply think the Bucks have too much offensive firepower for the Knicks to deal with. Now, is it possible for the Knicks to win? To win this game, very unlikely. Is it possible for them to cover? I'd say it's possible, but at the same point, yes, they won by 23 in their last home game, but it was against Atlanta, and Atlanta stinks. So now New York has to face an elite basketball team, and I think they're going to get exposed. I think the Knicks should lose this game by at least 15 points. So for that reason, the play of the day will be on the Milwaukee Bucks, minus 13, which is available on DraftKings at minus 112. Now, talking about some of the leans on today's card, I know that there's some bowl games going on already, but I'll give out my thoughts on some of them that are coming up. In terms of the SMU and Florida Atlantic game, I'm actually going to lean to the over 63. I know that a lot of money's come in on the under from 71 all the way down to 63 due to some key suspensions to some Florida Atlantic players. However, it doesn't change the fact that SMU's defense has been terrible all year long, and I know that Florida Atlantic is missing some key pieces, but SMU plays at such a fast pace, and so does Florida Atlantic. I just think this total's too low now. I think the market's overcorrected. I think you should see this game get to at least 65, so I'll lean to the over in that one. Other than that, looking at the rest of the card, I'm going to lean to Washington and Boise State under 48. Boise State's offense has been pretty good, but their conference is a joke in the Mountain West. And Washington's offense has been a mess ever since Eason got there, but their defense has still been pretty solid. I think that game will be low scoring. And that game should finish somewhere in the realm of 24-20, give or take. So I'll lean to the under in that one. And other than that, though, pretty much it for the bowl games. I would have leaned to Appalachian State, but 17 points is a lot. So I'll personally pass on that one. Talk about the NBA, though. Looking at the card, lean to the Clippers, minus 5.5. San Antonio beat the Nets in their last game, but the Clippers are coming in off a tough loss to Houston on the road. I think they'll bounce back here. Kawhi will probably have a big game against one of his former teams. I think he'll play well. I think the Clippers have a better overall roster, and I think they should win this game by at least double digits. So lean to the Clippers on that one. Other than that, though, pretty much it for the NBA. I'm not really a fan of anything else on the card. And talking about college basketball, There's one game in particular that I actually am a fan of, and is on Utah as they are taking on San Diego State. And I actually like Utah here plus the points. If you compare the numbers here, I just think the spread is a bit too high. San Diego State right now is laying 6 or so against a Utah team that just beat Kentucky. It's on a neutral court in the Staples Center, so I mean I guess San Diego State will have a slight home court advantage, but neither team is playing in their home stadium, so I don't think it will really make much of a difference. Utah has been fantastic so far this season. San Diego State's undefeated. They're 11-0. They're ranked. Utah's 9-2, though. And if you compare the stats, they're pretty even. San Diego State is giving up 56.6 points per game, and Utah's giving up 68.4. However, San Diego State's definitely I'd say they've had an easier schedule up to this point. They've beaten Iowa. They've beaten Creighton. But other than that, though, I mean, Utah just beat Kentucky. So I think that the schedule probably favors Utah in the sense of difficulty. Plus, Utah's shooting over 50% from the floor. They're averaging more rebounds per game. I think this game will be really close. I think Utah has a great chance of winning this game, and I think 6 points is just simply too many. So for me, lean to Utah plus the 6 in that college basketball game. But I know it's a lot on the card. Not really a fan of much else. But the play today, once again, will be on the Milwaukee Bucks minus 13, which is available on DraftKings at minus 112. Other than that, though, that's going to do it for this installment of Scott Selections here for Saturday, December 21st. Good luck to all of you and your respective bets today. Bye, everyone.